How's up, people, and welcome back to the channel. So where we are at, what I didn't record and what I'm going to show you now. So anyway, look, the booster's come back. The booster's back home. He's just sticking his nose in. He's looking at his new chassis and thinking, oh yeah, because I'm fat and heavy, and this one not so much. So I misplaced the footage of me making these bars, right? So what you have to do is just close your eyes and imagine me swearing at bars and taking hours and hours to get them exactly how I want them. So I remember this joint that was off. I popped the weld off, but I haven't re-tacked it down yet. It was just because it was in the body, it was like that, and I weren't having that. It does fit. So this is where I've come to. So we are at this junction. So this is going to be a main structural point. Yeah. So we come down. So there we've got a nice notch, and we are notched into the welds. Yeah. Then we come down. You have to. It's all a bit loose at the minute. We've got a nice notch around that tube. That's black pen, not a gap, by the way. And we've got a nice little notch down here. So this is where a lot of the strength of this bar comes from. Is that corner. I think yes. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So that bar there, it's an anti-intrusion bar. So I suppose it does help this bar from going in and this corner from pushing up. Because to push this corner up, that bar's got to go up, but it can't go up because it's notched to there and there. So I like them, just the bar itself. Somebody's at the front door, but my phone's not telling me who it is, neither is my watch. So that there was, it's not a tricky bar to make, but you have to make your door bars first, yeah, and then make this bar after. Where was we? The wife come back. I heard her coming up the garden like a foghorn talking to the dog. So yeah, you have to make the door bars first, then you make this bar, so you get your notch right. So I do the top notch. It's normally between, it's not a lot. I think that one was 47 degrees, something like that. But it can vary. If you move it back to here, you've got even less. But all I do to find that angle is, where's my doofer? Yeah, this is really simple. You put the bar where you want it, and you put this on there and zero it, and then put it on the tube behind, like that, and it gives you your angle. Anyway, enough of that. And then you just notch away. It's hard to explain if you don't know you're notching, but that's where we are on those bars. Yeah, so these are all in, that's in. The other side's the same. I've decided I want to put a bit of a bar in here. Yeah, so this is drilled straight through. So this will become like a peg, which will actually add strength to this tube. And it's going to sit flush to there, which that one's not too bad. Well, I may have made a bit of an error here. You can't really see it until you go like that. Yeah, I cut the wrong side of the line that I put on. I put a line on there, like a scratch mark, and then I cut the wrong side of it. So straight away I was too short. So all I've done is notch in a touch just to see where about we need to go, but that's not far off. But I haven't got any more of this 1-inch tube here. I have, but it's a thinner wall. But I've got a load. I've just had the delivery come in of roll cage tube, and that's going to be dropped off ASAP. So we'll have a nice load of supply tube again, because my racking's looking bare, and I've got another load coming up. So yeah, basically this it's more of a support for this. I don't think it's going to need it, but it's more of a triangle. It's a triangulation, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So I thought, why not? It's an added extra. It's not really adding any weight, but it triangulates this corner from any load this way. I don't think it's going to need it, but why not? You know, it's just something. It's new. These chassis are constantly evolving so much. And you look at everybody who makes one now, their last chassis is different to their last chassis. The next chassis, the one they're making now is different to the last one. So, you know, it's constantly evolving. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just pushing the boundaries on this one. Because this, as you say, this is mine. So I'm not making this safer because it's mine. The ones I've made are over-engineered. They are over-engineered. You know, it's the correct stuff. It's very well made. And it's strong as hell. This one, I'm just playing with it. You know what I mean? Just seeing what I can get away with. I am going to drive this thing like I've absolutely stole it. But there's also going to be some other changes to this car, which I don't think there's any other car out there that's going to run it, the setup the way I'm going to run it, because of the endurance style. I need an awful lot of fuel on board. Yeah, so yeah, and it's going to be more than likely Maguire setup. I'd like it to be able to accommodate the booster engine, but could also go back to an A series engine. So I'm going to run Maguire style front end, but I'm going to adjust the geometry to the way I want it. So I'm going to work out all the maths that needed to adjust the geometry, move the top arms up, get a bit more of a parallel double wishbone kind of setup, but you've still got the caster built in. Where if you look at a normal parallel setup, there isn't any caster built in. The top arm is directly above the bottom arm, and you adjust the caster by adjusting the rose joints. Well, on a Mini, there's already caster built into the top arm. That's why the top arm leans back. So you have to keep that caster. At the minute, this is 6.2 degrees on this. So I'm probably going to keep it around 6.5 degrees, but move it up to get rid of some of the top arm angle. The same as what I did on the booster, and it worked well. So I'm going to do that on this. But as I say, I want it to be able to run Mini engine as well as the booster turbo. So yeah, that's about where we are at the minute. Oh gosh, knees. So I've got to wait for this supply tube there. So I'm going to make one for there. I'm also going to triangulate this section here. I'm not sure how, or whether I'm just going to put a gusset there. I don't know yet. Not sure. Yeah, so these bars have still got to go in. Blah, 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 blah. So these are done. Those are done. Those ones are done. They're over there. These are going to go in here. So that's about where we are. The subframe's mounted at the front. I'm waiting for Urchfab to plasma cut me some mounts that I want for the bottom arms. So I want to do away with the pin that goes through. I want to do away with that and make my own mount off this lower box section chassis, which ties the subframe to the chassis and mounts the arm. And then, yeah, we're just going to get to town on this front end, which is why the booster's here. Because I want to use the booster. I know the booster works. Do you know what I mean? She handles well. Now we've actually got caster again. I think there's still something slightly off. Jeez, scared the So there's still something not quite right. Normally you can drive this thing one-handed, and there is still a very slight on full throttle. So I think, I know, that the bottom rose joint is on its way out on that side. So it could be that, just that one wheel doing a very small wibble. So I'm going to get that done and then get Tomo to go back over the car. But I'm going to strip the subframe, engine and everything off that and put it on here. to get my rough bearings on where everything's got to be. Yeah, but that subframe won't fit on my jigs, these ones, because that subframe's extended forward. So these holes here are going to come into play. We are going to make some legs that come from those holes down and mount to the table and mount there, lock in place, because that subframe has still got those holes. So that'll give us our height and our positioning on the table. Yeah, so that's how we're gonna do that. So we've got to do that soon, but I want to get all of this tacked up in place first. You agree? I agree. And I'm gonna fanny around with this. This subframe's pretty rough. It's not rough, it's opening up here. So I might use that one that's hanging up there. Yeah. And that's it. That's about as far as I've got. Pedal box has come. You haven't seen it, have you? Should we get the pedal box out and have a look? I'll do a proper video. I went with the Willwood. I fitted a couple of the comp brake ones. Wasn't impressed. The RBP one I had, wasn't impressed, even though it was a billet pedal one. It's the frameworks that let them down. Now this utilises the same sort of framework as the Tillington ones does. It's the forged cast. It's the forged cast base. Yeah. Now I've fitted a few Willwood pedal boxes to a few cars now, and I think they are just so well made. Yeah, Willwood stamped in here, machine surfaces for the pedals, and it's a 6-bolt brace. It's such a nice piece of kit, and as I say, all the other Willwood ones I fitted, really nice. It's a steel pedal, not a billet pedal, because the billet pedal one is ridiculous money. So I brought this with the balance bar and the throttle pedal, but I didn't buy the throttle pedal linkage because the throttle pedal linkage is like 170 quid. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that we can get this thing to connect to a throttle pedal cable for less than that. Yeah, so that is what's gonna go in this car. But I am very tempted to make it adjustable. So it'll go about there where it went in the turbo one. I'm very tempted to make it adjustable. Yeah? It's like the seat. We're making all this space around the seat because I want to get it so the seat can be changed for a large. Do you know what I mean? I want to get it... Look, I know I'm not going to stick with minis forever. So I've got to make this car usable for somebody else because I'm only tiny. Yeah? So if somebody bigger can put a bigger seat in it and move the pedal box. But the Tilton do a plate that goes to the floor. So 60-61 aluminum, I think aluminium. It's about 8 mil. It's about 8 mil thick. But they don't do one for the Willwood. So I might make one just so it's got that, you know, adjustability on it. Yeah, so anyway, that's where we are. I lost the footage of me making this bar, but you've only got to make one. If all your angles are correct, you've only got to make one, and then all you do is you make a template of it. Yeah, so you draw around it, turn it inside out and copy it onto the other one. That's all I did. Yeah, right, there we go. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, people. See you later.